All right, what is good, y'all? You guys seem to love these super raw talking videos, and today I'm obviously not in Miami, I'm not in New Jersey, I'm in California for the month with my boys Hish, Chris, and Ryan. They're all inside. I'm out here recording this video for you guys. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about how the law of detachment made me hundreds of thousands of dollars at the age of 20 years old. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jake. I'm 20 years old now. I turned 20 last week, and I run a clothing brand, which I've been running my clothing brand for almost 4 years now, since I was 16 years old. And I run a brand scaling agency, which I guess you could call it SMMA, whatever you want, marketing agency. I've been running that for almost 2 years now, probably a little over a year and a half. And with that being said, I've generated, probably well over $400,000-$500,000 throughout my, business career. Maybe closer to $1 million. And my channel is about showing you guys spitting game and telling you guys how I was actually able to get there, because I want to be the mentor that I didn't have through the start of everything, right? I wish I had videos like this to go ahead and watch when I was first starting out, which I did a little bit, luckily, but nothing super in-depth. Like, I had no free courses, I had no nothing, right? So my job is to go ahead and become the mentor for you guys through this YouTube channel. So with that being said, if you guys don't know what the law of detachment is, it is basically setting everything, even your emotions, aside from the output and only focusing on the inputs, right? So basically, you need to detach yourself from money, you need to detach yourself from the success, and you need to detach yourself from the feeling and the dopamine you get from actually making money and seeing some sort of success. Now, I know that seems a lot easier than it sounds, and it is really, really hard to get. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and explain it in this video. Now, I didn't really learn this until later, and really once I started to implement it into just my life and my business in general, that's when I started going from 5K, 10K, 11K per month straight to 30, 40K a month, like almost instantly in a month span, which is pretty crazy. And all I had to do, I just had to do these little exercises, and I had to change my mindset, just so subtle. And I went from 10K a month to 40K a month within a month, right? So the number one trick that I have is just, again, focusing on your inputs. So what I do every single day before I go to bed, I write out a list of stuff I have to get done 100%, or else I can't go to sleep. This will be like 5, 6, 7 tasks that I'll need to go ahead and do, right? And I'll go ahead, I'll write them down in my notes app, in a notebook, whatever. And I need to go ahead and do it every day. Like, for example, have a meeting with my media buyer, make a certain amount of videos, talk to this person, do this on my computer. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I have to do, and I only focus on that. I don't focus on how much money I make. I don't focus on the amount of clients I sign that day. I only focus on what I need to do, and I promise you guys, within my whole heart, the money actually comes, right? Once you start focusing on the inputs, once you become the millionaire version of yourself, you adopt the habits and you adopt everything that your millionaire version of yourself does, the money is going to come. I promise you. So with that being said, how I actually implement it into my business. Now, I set a goal. I obviously write tasks, but I also do something that implements dopamine into my brain, like, super fast. That's good dopamine, not bad dopamine, like scrolling or, doing that. But usually the best part is going to the gym. So I'll wake up early, I'll go to the gym, boom, that's already a win for the day. You're starting off the day on a win. That is the best thing you could possibly do for yourself. Right when I come home from the gym, I sit at my desk and I attack my fucking day. I attack my tasks. Once I finish my task, I have a successful day. Then I have meetings with my team. I found out how much money I made for the day, and boom. That's basically how it works. And that's how you go ahead and attack the day. You need to focus on your inputs more than your outputs. And once you do that, I know I said it like 2 times already, that's how you're gonna go ahead and make the most money. And it's not just gonna switch like that. You need to go ahead and attain habits. Now, habits, I read this thing online, or it was in a book somewhere, but it said if you do something for 21 days in a row, it is now a habit. So I would write down, if I were you, starting out, you're stuck at a certain amount of month, you're stuck making money, here's exactly what I would do. I would go ahead and I would make a list. What is the millionaire version of yourself doing every single day? They're waking up early, they're going to the gym, they're eating healthy foods, they're doing the things they actually need to get done. You need to focus on the revenue generating activities. Because most people are working hard, they're not working smart, and they're working hard on the wrong things. You need to go ahead, figure out for your business model what you need to do to generate you the most money, what you need to outsource, what you need to delegate, and what you need to go ahead and focus on. Once you find that out, you need to write the tasks you need to go ahead and do every single day. Now, once you go ahead and find out what those tasks are, you need to go ahead and actually build these habits. So you need to make a focus to go to the gym for 21 days in a row. You need to stay on a diet for 21 days in a row. You need to go on walks. You need to get sun. You need to be social for 21 days in a row. After those 21 days, your body is just going to get scientifically used to it, and it's not going to become hard anymore, and it's just going to become a part of your daily process, and it's going to become a habit. Once you do that, you're honestly set. I'm not gonna lie. The law of detachment is extremely simple. And in super short terms, all it is putting inputs over outputs. That's literally it. So I'll do two examples. One for my clothing brand. So if you have a clothing brand, please stay tuned. If you have a freelance brand scaling agency, please stay tuned as well for my clothing brand. What I focus on every day is just managing my team. So I delegate my manufacturing. I delegate my ads. I will sometimes delegate posting. I like to post, so I'll go ahead and do it if I have enough free time. I delegate the customer service. So what I need to go on ahead and focus on is placing my chess pieces to go ahead and sell the company. Now, I am a lot further than a lot of you guys watching this video right now, so I could go ahead and do that. But what I've really been focusing on is setting up all the little back-end chess pieces so I can go ahead and sell my company within the next 2 years. So what am I doing? I'm getting all the documents right. I'm making sure everything is professional. I'm making sure customer service is great, and I'm checking on my team every single day to make sure the business is running smoothly. We need to make sure profits are good. We need to make sure revenue is stable. And we need to make sure that there's no little bumps and bruises inside the business that's affecting us from either going out of business, making less money, or getting us in trouble legally. Now, for my freelance brand scaling agency, I kind of like to do the same thing, except now, let's say you're first starting out. You need to go ahead and focus on outreach. You need to focus on actually learning the skill of ads, and you need to focus on sales. If you want to become successful in any service-based business, let's just take freelance brand scaling, for example, you need to learn sales. So if you are first starting out, you need to focus on the inputs. If you're just learning, you need to focus and set a goal of what you need to get done for that day. So let's say you're just learning the basics of everything. Write a goal, get a mentor, write down a certain amount of notes, take a certain amount of cold calls, take a certain amount of mock sales calls, post a certain amount of videos a day, run some test campaigns, like start a dropshipping store and just run it just to learn the skill of paid ads, right? And once you do that, once you focus on the inputs, you're going to become successful, I promise you. And honestly, I mean, I know this was an extremely short video, but I kind of gave you the whole process of that right then and there, right? The law of detachment, it is extremely simple. All it is you're putting your inputs over your outputs, and you need to gain the habits of the version of yourself that is making $1 million a year. Once you do that, and just focus on what you need to fucking do, instead of focusing on, oh, I made $0 today. Oh, I made 10K today. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna get rich, bro. It's that simple. So with that being said, if you guys like these types of videos, make sure to comment so I'll post more of them. But I made a goal to post 15 videos in the month of September, and I'm gonna do it. I promise you guys. This will be my second video. It's gonna be the 6th. So I have some catching up to do, but I am on schedule. So I'm not really worried at all. But with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions at all about any type of business, make sure to go ahead and DM my Instagram. I got you. Answer any questions you got. But with that being said, I love y'all, and I'll catch you in the next video.